How you guys doing? Music is still on. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so we gift Betty White in the front there because she had a birthday yesterday. Yesterday was her birthday. I was like poking around for good Betty White gifts, and I saw that one, and I was like sold. So today we are doing the colorist jam. Can you take a nap for the rest of your shift? I mean, I'm not your supervisor. So yes. I am also in the napping mentality. You think you're qualified? I don't know, man. Naps seem really good. I've been hustling, maybe a little too much. I got hey, thank you for the follow. D out nailed it. I've been hustling. I got Heartthrob out the door like half a day early because yesterday went so well. I didn't stream yesterday because I was just like on it, just like cranking out the work. I don't know what it was. Thank you for the host, by the way, Kate. I don't know what it was, but like some days you feel electric. Some days you feel on top of things. Some days you get shit done. So in the spirit of that, let's get some shit done. So we're going to be doing the colorist jam. If you're unfamiliar with the colorist jam, the idea is that we take a piece of art, we give it to a bunch of different colorists, and they do their own take on it, and they put it up on Twitter, and they hashtag it with colorist jam. You can see that it's right up here in the upper left, right up here where my mouse is. Hashtag colorist jam. Here are some of the colorist jams. This is the art. I don't know what this is weird, but like normally it's just art. So here are some colorist jams. Man, there was one that I saw. Yeah, this one was like real nuts. Whoever did this, who did this? Ian Fay. This is so many letters for a name, but I think this is Ian. Bots trolling for clicks. Yeah. This is really cool. He did like a weird thing with the line art. He like inverted the background in like a weird way. Hair colorists show up in searches for colorist too. That's weird. I guess it's not that weird, but yeah, he did some wild stuff here. This is really cool and like visually arresting. I don't know if this would fly with a DC editor, so just a heads up. But yeah, a lot of like really cool stuff. Oh, now we're into old colorist jams. So yeah, we got a few jam pieces. Adam, buddy of mine. Simon, friend of the stream. Who else do we got here? Here's Gary Frank himself. He's the artist. At one more Gary Frank. Who else is here? Hank Jones. Jimmy, also friend of the stream. Check out Jimmy's. I like the blood on the collars there. That's cool. But yeah, we gotta see what we're up against. Steven went for a very desaturated, like noir look. I'm into it. Yeah, Drew also very good. This one's pretty good. I think this might be the one to beat as far as like DC coloring style. I dig this a lot. So I wasn't gonna do the colorist jam initially. Travis, also friend of the stream. I wasn't gonna do one initially, but like this secondary light source that people are playing with in different ways, I think is like really interesting. So I was like, you know what? Maybe we should. The thing about colorist jams is I like having with a colorist jam. The first one we ever did was the Thanos one. I did that with Marissa way back when the stream was like just starting, if you guys remember. from way back when. If you're interested in catching that stream, by the way, you can look it up on YouTube. She's in the playlist that is Talks with Other Comic Pros. We talk about her going to art school and everything as I work on a Thanos piece. It's a pretty good conversation. Marissa is a very smart person. But the reason I like that colorist jam was because, and we're gonna get into this. What you're looking at right now is the line art on the left that we're gonna be playing with, and then this is Doomsday Joker's costume. So we're gonna match it so that we know what we're working with. We are on the inks layer. Yeah, so the reason I liked that particular, the Thanos colorist jam, was because, yeah, The World Is Not Your Penis was set on stream for that one. Yep. You can go back and check that, relive that old chestnut. Do recommend watching it. Yep. But yeah, there was like all this lightning that was happening in the colorist jam for that one. The lightning was like super interesting because it was drawn in, but like there are a lot of different takes that a colorist can have with things like lightning and fire. Everybody kind of like figures out what they want to do regarding lightning and fire. Sorry, I'm thinking about like where this shirt begins and ends. Everybody kind of figures out what they want to do regarding lightning and fire, differently. So I thought that was interesting to see, like across the board, like everybody's different take on it. For this one, like mentally, I was like, I don't know if there's like a lot of room to like, show off like what you want to do or how you want to, I don't know. I didn't think there was like enough room for a colorist to play on this one. But like I said, I saw some people turn in some like weird secondary light source stuff, and I was like, maybe there is room to play. Maybe. We're gonna explore that space. I don't know if this is gonna be a good one for me. like personally, this is not. This is a little out of my comfort zone as far as like line art that I work on. I feel like I do my do I do lighting effects like do you prefer to get line art effects like lighting and fire on separate layers? Doesn't matter. I've been like doing this for so long that like that kind of stuff, like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'll have like colorists or line artists be like, I'm so sorry. The only thing that I wish was on a separate layer every single time is rain. Rain is the only thing. Because rain is like over the entire panel. Like, but when it comes to like fire, it's like, oh, the fire's here, or it's all around the character or whatever. Like I can work with that because you're not putting fire in front of their faces, Yeah, Nick one layer Filardi over here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but rain, when colorists or when line artists put rain like everywhere, it's very, very difficult. I actually just did a panel in the Realm. There's like a kind of like montage sequence that's happening. And what color are the Joker's eyes? Are they also green? They're like that? Does that make sense? Kind of makes sense. Yeah, so there's a sequence in the Realm where it's kind of like montage-y, and they're going from like place to place to place, like all these different places in like quick succession, like one panel a piece. And Jeremy drew one in the rain. They're like hiding under a bridge in the rain, and I really wanted to knock the rain out, but it's at night, and he put a lot of spot blacks down, and it was to the point where I was like trying to figure out what was rain and what was not rain. And then like the realm also has like an extra layer of like fuzz and splatter over the whole thing, because it's like a dirty, lived in, shitty world. And I was kind of like, all right, I want to do this rain. I got in there and I was like, I cannot do this rain. Like I just can't, you know. I wish I could, but like there was just too much going on in that panel to really figure it out. And like this is the other thing, we've talked about this before, about how like you got to triage your problems. This is like one panel in an entire book. And it was like, well, I could spend a whole day doing this rain for this one panel, but it's like, are people even going to really care? Not really. Not really. All right, so we've gotten the Joker back to kind of like local. Oh, I forgot. He got a little watch. He got a little Batman watch. Look at that. I missed that the first pass. Let's fix his Batman watch. But yeah, to answer your question, rain is the only thing that I'm like, oh, I wish this was on another level. Rain and maybe snow. Other than that, it's like, I don't know. I've knocked out enough line art over the years to be like, fire. We'll do this and we're good. You know, like, I don't know. Anyway, but I can understand you really, with that kind of stuff, you got to communicate with your colorist. If you're like, get to that point where you're like, hey, I'm about to draw all this stuff in here. The reason I did that, by the way, we can walk that back. So like, let's talk about this for just a quick second. Sometimes you have objects color holded in the background that are clearly big areas of black ink with the foreground characters in black line. This happens with mic art a lot. You always wonder if I'm choosing the line weights. Like 99% of the time I am choosing the line weights. Sometimes if I feel like I'm really in the weeds, I will be like, hey, these are the choices I made. If you want to revise like what's down on this page, like if you're not happy with the choices I made as far as like line weights go, we can talk about that. But not like, I've literally never had an artist be like, yes, we're going to patch that in. So yeah. Oh, what I was going to say. So there's like a brown here and a brown for this frame. And if we, let me think about how I want to say this. So if we say put 10 colors in the background, that is going to take your brain like a little extra time to process than 2 colors. If there are similar colors, you could start to really nail down like how to build a palette if you take those 2 similar colors and make them the same color. So that's what we're doing here. We're just kind of like trying to narrow this thing in to like a manageable thing. And you can usually like get a little creative, like we are doing right now, where I'm taking like this couch color and this building color and like we're making them the same. We can like kind of 50% that. So like the background is now like 4 colors maybe. Hey Panda. Dude, but you know, speaking of choosing line arts, hold on, I gotta show you guys something. Give me 1 second to find it, because I don't want to let you in on like all the other secret stuff I got going on, because I have many secrets. There's a Nightwing cover that we did where I did a version, it got approved for previews, and then they wanted me to retool it, and I'm going to show it to you right now. So the long story short, if you're not familiar with like the printing process, he didn't draw nothing. Hey, look, sometimes you get a break. All right, sometimes you get a break for that full rate. So this is a Nightwing cover. The way the printing process works is like covers are done first, and then you will run the final cover art in previews. So that way people in previews kind of like know what they're getting, like they know what to look for, that kind of thing. That happens months in advance of like actually doing the issue. Sometimes there are adjustments between, you know, the previews art and the final art. And in this one, they were like, hey, we want like you to go in, and the note was to go in and the reason I'm comfortable showing you this is because this ran in previews. So, you know, if you picked it up, this is 53, so it's already out. And then the final ran. So you've seen both. If you're a keen observer, you've seen both of these. This is, we'll put it over here. This is the final. So they were like, hey, we really want to bring the tone up on this, make it brighter, less dark. And they were like, and can we make the background red? And I was like, sure, but like, I'm going to start making a lot of choices. And I wanted to make sure Chris was like all good with that. This is the most extensive I've ever done. As far as like, I'm making choices for the line art, as far as like, this is beyond line thickness. Cause if you can see, like, I'm putting an arm here. Like, and looking at it now, I don't know if I was necessarily totally 100% correct on it. I tried to put like another elbow over here for his, like the other side of his arm and like his chest, you know, like I'm making all of these like anatomy choices in here. And then I tried to make it dark down here so that I wouldn't have to figure this out, this whole thing. Like, this was a lot. I had to basically take the cover out back behind the Photoshop woodshed and just like square peg round hole. But the cover came out great, and Chris was cool with it. He was like, "Yep, looks fantastic. Run it." He was like, "Everything looks great." So I'm happy with where it came out. I think it was a good note. But yeah, that's the most extensive I've ever gotten as far as like taking spot blacks and figuring out line holds and stuff like that. Hey, and you guys should pick up Nightwing. There's a little Nightwing plug for you. So let's figure out what we're gonna do with this Joker. Obviously, half of his face, on this side of this dark shadow, is going to be either a color, or it's going to be white, or something. We're gonna figure that out. Let's kind of just make it pure white. It's the only pure white on the page. You hear it stars that super popular character Rick Grayson. Hey, watch the shade. Watch the shade. I was there's a person I follow on Twitter who is retweeting as she reads Night's End, Night's Quest, Night's Watch, and it made me nostalgic for that run, and it made me happy that I was on the Rick Grayson run. I feel like the Rick Grayson stuff is going to turn into the way people think about... I mean, I've talked about this before on stream. The way people talk about Night's End, Night's Quest, Night's Watch. What's up, comics? And hey, McComicer. All right, let's figure out what we're doing here. Usually I start with like a wash of color, but maybe we'll start with like shadows and highlights. What are we gonna do? So we have two light sources, and you can tell that because of the stark shadow down the Joker's face. We have the light source from the window that's hitting him here, and then we have the light source in the room hitting him on this side. the light source in the room, you can tell it's on his other side because of the shadow here in the nose and the shadow under the nose. So it's probably like high and in front of him, kind of. It's probably like here, but like 2 or 3 steps towards the reader. You gotta have this on that you're finishing a handout for an oral exam. So you won't be alive in the chat, but everyone has fun. Yeah, man. Chill out, Panda. Hang out, chill out, hang out. I'm into it. So yeah, the light source is like close to the reader and probably about here, maybe about here-ish. And then the other one is the window. Let's figure that out. I don't know what we're going to do for the window light source because we haven't figured out what color we're going to do for the window. The window light source is like pretty intense, and it would be cool to like we don't need this guy anymore. It would be cool to like just like make this entirely white, you know? Like make it like really bright. I don't know if we're betraying the line art. This is the thing. These are things that you gotta like balance when you are when you're coloring. Is that like how emotionally attached is Gary to? By the way, you should follow Gary. His info's down there in the corner, down there, right down there. It's very cool of him to let us go crazy on this line art. Is like how emotionally attached is he to these buildings? I mean, if we make the window too bright, then it's going to be overpowering when we want the focus to be on the Joker. So maybe we shouldn't knock all this out. Maybe we should do it like kind of roll with what he put down. I'm not quite sure. At any rate, let's select everything, and let's just do a pass of shadows on there. How's everybody doing out there? All the hot takes of tidying up have worn down, so it's a perfect time to talk about it. I'm sure everybody is like totally sick of it, but I have some thoughts. It's the most basic silhouette. How attached can you be? I mean, true, but like it's also like spot black. So he could be thinking about it in a way where it's balancing the page's composition. Like, and you know, I don't want to betray that. And, you know, it's also some artists, they're a little looser with like inking and hanging out. Nice. Some artists are a little looser with like what they let the colorists get away with. Some artists are like, I put this down on the page, it is staying there forever, please do not touch it, you know? You're pretending like you're gonna draw a page today. Yeah, man, I was like, I'm gonna chip away and pencil out this page. I'm 1 page behind. We're like 3 weeks into the year. I'm 1 page behind on my schedule. I'm gonna try to catch up eventually. I got the whole year to catch up. But yeah, I for anyone that's following along in the Discord, which by the way you should join the Discord. I've been doing a lot of like exercises instead of fun stuff with the sketchbook challenge. You're flatting TMNT. Nice. What's up, Meerkat? We showed off your colorist jam earlier, Jimmy. When we started the stream. But yeah, I've had Mike Oming, for example. So you're ready for all those hot takes on Twitter. That's the recipe for disaster. Well, no, I mean, like I have the whole year to catch up because I've only scheduled like 1 page a week, and it's not even one full finished page. It's like one part of like the penciling 1 week, the inking 1 a week. So I feel like we're early in the and you missed it. Yeah, I know. Exercise can make you go faster in the end. Yes, it's true. Um, so yeah, Mike Oming, as far as like knocking out line art, he and we've worked together for a very long time. Although we aren't working now, and I feel like Eddie Brock without his Venom symbiote. When it comes to Mike's stuff, I keep seeing his stuff in the wild that Taki colored, and it looks great, but it's just like, I miss you, dear friend. I miss you. We'll be doing some powers soon, I'm sure, and we got some other plans too. So, but yeah, this is the longest I've been without coloring Mike's work since I started my career, which is like weird to think about. At any rate, the point is that he is like, knock out anything you want, nothing's sacred, go crazy. Like, totally trust you, do whatever you want. As long as it looks good in the end, he doesn't care. So he is not precious about it. MCC missing hangout, another couple big mountain deadlines. But try and keep your head above water. You don't think you're drowning yet. Yeah, I've been there. I gotta say, the number one thing that I've learned in the last 10 years of working regularly, I mean, I was working regularly before this, but I was saying yes to everything, is that saying no to things is okay, and figuring out the structure and your schedule is also okay. You know? Not drowning. This comics in general, this shit's a marathon, man. Like, it's never, ever about like the panel that you're working on, the face that you're working on. It's barely even about the issue you're working on. It's about like the career as a whole. It's about runs of things. It's about oh, thanks, Ron. Ron just said that the last ROM cover looked really good. I did very, very minimal stuff on there. I'm glad that it worked, because I was thinking about, like, you know, doing a huge amount of stuff, but like the more that I did, the more I worked it, the less it was like losing something. So I don't know, I worked it a little less, and I was happy with it. I'm glad you liked it too. But yeah, so I've come to realize that like the biggest enemy towards like figuring out the biggest enemy towards like doing runs and having good runs of something is overworking yourself and burning yourself out. That is the biggest enemy of that. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I've seen people come out with. There's no avoiding it. One deadline is a model. The other one, it's a project you started 14 years ago. You started to be a thing right now. Yeah. Happy to have the work. Yeah. No, I'm not, exasperatedly coming down on you. I'm just saying in general, like, these are thoughts that I've had regarding deadlines. I'm sure you can run your shit, Meerkat. But yeah, I feel like there's so much in comics that like everything's coming out and rotating. To really leave an impression, there needs to be a like catalog of good work. It's never like, oh, I drew this one thing really well and that's what I'll be known for. It's like you don't think, when you think of like, I don't know, I can't think of a good example. I mean, we could, like Mike Oming, for example, think about powers. It's like I've talked with him about this before. I feel like every artist feels like there are pages where like things didn't work out. It was like they rushed through it. There's like, work with like some duds in it. But like if it's overall good work, like that's what people remember. But the enemy of that, the enemy of making overall good work, is becoming tired, becoming burned out, feeling like you're just grinding it out and you're just like angry. I've angry colored before and it is not good. Just like, I gotta get this done and then I gotta get this done and why isn't this working and god damn it, you know, like that kind of thing. That doesn't lead to good work. I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on comics in general. It's tough to see that when you have like a small amount of work out, but once you get older and once you get like a good catalog under your belt, it's easier to see that like that is clearly the way to go. Gary made rendering this a little easier on us because he's done like a ton of hatching. So I'm just kind of like following what the roadmap that he already put down. We'll add to the roadmap in a second, but for right now it's like, oh, there's the collarbone. Like, he hatched out everything with the neck, so I don't have to like even think about it, which is nice. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I think you would talk to anyone, and they'd be like, Powers is, and the cool thing about this, by the way, is that like, because no one single thing is gonna like trip you up, you can experiment within the medium. Like, Mike experiments like crazy in Powers with like layout. He puts together some of the most dynamic layouts I've ever seen in comics. I think that the only person that really comes close to like the, as far as like crazy layouts, is Eisner. Like, Eisner put together some like crazy layouts too in the Spirit. But that's like, we're going way back for that kind of stuff. At any rate, I feel like because it's about a project, like the summation of a project, and not about an individual thing, it gives you the liberty to like experiment. And if something like doesn't really work, it doesn't drag you down. It doesn't make you worse. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, they tried something there. That's cool. And you like turn the page, and then you think about like the book overall as a whole. You don't think like, oh, well, they experimented that one time on that one page. Like, I challenge you to be like, there's one page in Y the Last Man that I didn't like. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, you're, as a comic artist, you're afforded certain liberties because of the nature of the medium. You never hear people like going to a movie and being like, man, the color correction on that one scene for the 15 seconds we were there, like, didn't really work. You know what I mean? It's a kind of a weird thing when you think about it. And that's why I am a big proponent of like, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We are figuring out the hand and collar. Oh, we should deselect all this white because we don't want to add shadow to it. Experience over detail. Exactly. And so you should try to make the best experience you can, but you should also understand that, like, you know, people read comics and like, you know, like, I read 4 trades of God, 5 trades now? Yeah, 5 trades of Jason Aaron's Thor run just recently, and like, there are moments I like and there are panels I like that stick out to me, but like, what doesn't stick out to me is like, you know, the places where the art kind of like didn't really work. Like, I know like logically that there are places that happened, but like, the overall experience was so good I can't even remember those panels. So yeah, think about it like that. Think about comics like that. The more you think like that, the better comic artist you'll be. He's got some dangling hair, so we're putting some dangles in, some drop shadows. All right, looks like Joker's kind of taken care of. Oh, we got to do the watch band down here. This is going to be like kind of in shadow. Yeah. Now that isn't to say that you shouldn't try and you shouldn't, do your best work at all times, but you don't turn in every single panel one at a time to be scrutinized. You turn in an entire book. So you got to let that book speak for you. Blah. Speak for you, and not like really sweat the details while you're working on them, but be able to like let some stuff go and hope that the overall experience is good. I don't know. It sounds like I'm telling you to be like, hey, do whatever you want. Quality doesn't matter. But it does. It just matters in a weird way that's not like specific. I don't know. I used to think that like when I was first starting out that I was like, I would do something. I would do a project or a piece or whatever. And I used to think like, once people see this, it'll like solidify me as a creator or as an artist or like whatever. And the truth is it doesn't. It's like, oh, that one thing's pretty good. You gotta make people do that over and over and over and over again before they're like, hey, Nick Filardi's pretty good, I also used to think that if I did like one cool thing, then like I would be in the door and then I wouldn't have to work anymore. Well, I would still work, but it'd be like, oh, I gotta work, but like I can rely on my talents and I no longer have to innovate. Like I've made it. I don't have to worry about like my career or anything like that ever again. And it's like art is so wildly not that. And like there's such a focus on breaking into comics in general that I can see why like I thought that at the time when I was like first starting out, but it isn't that way. It isn't that way at all. Art is like it's like being an athlete. You just like you work at it, you work at it, you work at it. You never stop. You can always get better. Always. So you always hustle. Yeah, hustle never stops. Exactly. Like and this is the thing too, is like I feel like a lot of people, and you can see this happen in comics. If a person does not love the hustle, if they just want to like do their thing and get out, like that happens all the time in comics. There's a lot of, especially when they get older, like for some people it gets like exhausting. Spelling. I just realized you have one of your Rick riding the taxi with the burning wheel. Yeah, that page is, I was like, no, you don't have to punch out the fire on something like that. Yeah, that page came out really good, by the way. I was very happy with that page. That's in the new Nightwing. You guys should check out Nightwing. But yeah, what was I saying? I got a little distracted. Started thinking about that page. Oh, the hustle never stops. Yeah, I feel like there are people who think that like, oh, once I break in, and then like and then I'll be good, and then I won't have to fight for work anymore. I won't have to Like, I can just like do what I do. I don't have to be on the internet. I don't have to promote anymore. I don't have to go to cons. I don't have to like do all this stuff. And it's like, nah, dude. Like, this is the job. Like, if you don't love the hustle, then like you're in the wrong place. I feel like a lot of older people in comics, older creators, get like that, where they like hit a point where they're like, I don't want to really work anymore. I just want it handed to me. I feel like I've earned that. And it's like, the reality is like, nah, you compete with everybody else in the pool always. Some older creators like that, some aren't. I feel like, I don't know what I like. You guys want to burn some bridges? We shouldn't. It's 3 jobs at least. Yes, Ron is totally right. I was about to start calling people out for this, but I mean, maybe that's not a good idea to do publicly. I was about to start being like, look at this person, look at this, idiots. When in truth, I would be the idiot for doing that. But I don't know. I mean, you can tell there's a lot of people who like make their comic, make their thing, get pretty popular, and then they just like, I don't have to name names. You would who will kill their career faster. Yeah. I don't have to name names. Like, you guys know who they are. You see them not making comics. You see them like making covers and stuff like that. It's because like the hustle's hard, man. Like, making comics is tough. Whenever people ask, how do you make it in comics? It's like, well, first of all, understand that making it isn't a one-time event. You have to keep on making it. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't understand that at all. When I was at SCAD, the language that was happening was, in such a way that it was like there was such a focus on making it, and the language was like, the language of breaking in implies that you've like broken the barrier and you're in, and there's nothing you can, like, anybody can do to change that. And so it kind of makes me like hate that language, because that isn't the case at all. So we're just doing, this is 70% of like a blue gray down on a new layer over here. We're gonna actually select inverse and figure out what we're gonna do for the lighting as well. I kind of want to make it like semi on fire, warm in the room. The hustle's crazy, especially when you have to hustle a day job as well. Yeah, it's breaking in is tough. I made a lot of sacrifices early on in my life that I was able to make at the time. I don't know if I could do it again, to be honest. Like, it's hard. Yeah, I hate that term, breaking in. I wish it was like, I don't know, how do I book my first gig, rather than breaking into comics. So like, here we have like an orange, like 46%. We can like tweak the, I mean, maybe a blue would be better. Oh, this pink is kind of nice. Everybody's down on purple lately, but you can't argue with the results, right? Maybe we'll edge it towards red. We'll kind of start here and work our way through. I'm just gonna flatten these. I've been thinking about, like, I don't know, maybe I won't be flattening. Let's think about this for a second. That is seriously a great point. Yeah, exactly. The conversation needs to change to booking gigs rather than breaking in. Yeah, because breaking in is just the wrong language for the whole thing. To quote a bartender manual he wrote, can I consistent and never-ending improvement? Yeah. Yes. Success relies on improvement. Yeah. You can't be like, hey, I did this one thing, hire me for 40 years. Like, in art, that's madness. We're going to cool down the bottom, warm up the top a little bit. Not that much. We're starting to get there. Let's flatten it. So, because I work basically one layer at a time, this is me kind of like figuring out what I want for like a roadmap, and then I'm just going to flatten it. The shadows are all solid, but the light is obviously has a gradient to it. So, but before we do that, let's duplicate the flats just because, so that way we can easily just be like, hey, grab skin tones, because we're gonna need to do that. Breaking in also implies there's an intentional barrier, and there's not. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with the idea of like breaking in, quote unquote. And I wish that, I really wish, I don't know if we're gonna keep this white, by the way. We're gonna figure it out. I just want to get in here with the hair. I really wish that when we were in college, because Fake McCoy and I went to the same college at the same time, that there was someone at some point was like, hey, it's not really breaking in. It's because like it created this idea that like I could do this thing and then stop. Then I would become a career professional and I wouldn't have to keep hustling. Which I think me coming to realize that was part of the reason for my depression. Just like, oh, it's like this. Like, oh God, it's like this. I don't know if we're gonna, I don't know, maybe white there rather than around the collar. Yeah. I do want to make the Joker the craziest motherfucker ever. Maybe we do like just straight up red. Maybe we do red. And then flip the script on him. Make his skin tone lighter. Like that. I think maybe that's a good course of action. Rather than making, so basically right there I was thinking that like, so normally when you have like a hard light source like this, it looks really good when you make it just pure white. Instead of, and it's like drawn in a way where it's like we're not having any like lines in here. Like this is drawn in a way where this is supposed to be like the brightest light source on the Joker, because over here we have a bunch of lines and stuff so we can see details. This is supposed to be just blown out light, but we didn't do that. We're doing something else instead. I hope it works. If it doesn't, chat, this is the point where it went wrong right here. We're gonna try to get closer to Joker colors just a little bit. So the reason that I did that, by the way, is because there's no vacancy light. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about that. I was like, the light doesn't have to be pure white. And the reason that I thought to do that was because like I kind of want you here. I don't want you here, you know? I want you with like the pure Joker psychosis, not with like whatever's going on out here. Let's make this red as well, because I want to create like a rhythm. Like I want to like box you in right here. So we're gonna make this little like pocket locket thing. Pocket locket. Is that a thing? I'm gonna make this red. I know he drew it in a way. Gary drew it in a way where it looks like it has like shine to it, but we're gonna kind of make it a matte finish. The whole image was looking very John Higgins at the beginning. Sometimes I feel like Gary Frank inks looks like Brian Bowen. Yeah, I can see it. I can see that. We're gonna kind of embrace, put a little shine on it, but we're gonna make it kind of like, I don't know, a little bit muted, a little bit, because we don't need you here. We need you here. I mean, we could change the red too. It doesn't have to be red. Yeah. The art has that smiley face on the mushroom cloud back there. Yeah. Started coloring 6 or 7 months ago. You have to say so far the community's been one of the most welcoming and helpful. Yeah, I feel like it's because like there's not a lot of how do I pick which images to color on stream? There is literally no method to the madness. I mean, maybe we should do like a green. If you want to send me stuff to color, Travis, if you got like pinups on the side, like that you're like, hey, this would be cool to color on stream, I will happily do it. Same to you, Ron. We got to stay away from pink. Everybody hates pink right now. I think we're gonna keep the red. My only thought with like sometimes you feel very lost in illustration Discord service. Nick's Discord is very nice. It's true. My Discord is very nice and welcoming. We're gonna consider gold maybe. It's an Osmondeus product. Oh, I didn't realize that. Maybe we'll do a gold N on it. Yeah, you guys should join the Discord, by the way. It is very welcoming. And I am available to you 24/7 while I'm in there. I'm in the wrong layer. Like a fool. We'll spruce that up. I'm just trying to figure out larger strokes, like what we're doing here. Well, multi-layer. Yep, barely. It's line art, the coloring, and then I preserved the flats. It's barely like this is as multi-layer as I get. I've been corrupted. I've been the only reason I've even moved to this, where like I preserve the flats and then have a layer of color and then like the line art, is because it's faster. It's like a little bit faster. I kind of want to desat the wall color. I want to like push this whole scene like just back so that we're here with the Joker. I'm trying to figure this out. I don't often work. Oh no, I do often work with so few layers. Like I usually work on one layer and that's it. my normal, like if you go back and like check out other streams, it's me just working straight up on one layer. We need to push back this mushroom cloud guy now. Just a little bit, just a hair, so that we really push the Joker forward. All right, I think we're getting I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, so what's happening right now, why this is starting to work, is because I see the selection tool is very important in 30 layers. Yeah. I mean, like, so what's going on as far as like the layers go is that like I preserve the flats, and that's only so I can make quick selections. If I don't drag a gradient through for the color, for like the highlights or the shadows, then I won't even do this where I preserve the flats, because basically I go like, with all art, you go from very general to very specific. And the way that I work is that I put down all the shadows like we've done already. I'll make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. Put down all the shadows like we've done already. And then from there, I'll kind of like figure out exactly how I want the whole thing to look. I'll keep like kneading it until it's like done, as far as like palette goes, as far as like, you know, that kind of thing. And then from there, I will go in and start doing finer details. And I feel like the only time that you really need a lot of layers is when you get to the very end, when you start doing like special effects and stuff like that. And the reason for that is because special effects will make it very hard to like select something if it's all on one layer. So you want to use multiple layers for that. Stream's getting choppy for your internet. Oh, this is on your end. All right, cool, Barry. You can catch the VOD on YouTube. Everything goes up on YouTube. Link is down below, by the way, if you want to subscribe over there too. I think Twitch holds the last 14, but like I have streams going back all the way back to me starting, like, basically. So yeah, like basically what's going on here as far as like the palette goes is that like I've created kind of a visual rhythm. I'm gonna try to point this out to you. So like this is more what the line art looks like. I'm trying to create a visual rhythm where it's like red, red, red. So that way it's like you have like the Joker's gaze. I'm like trying to move you in this direction. Cool. Now we can talk about Barry. Oh no. Yeah, I'm trying to move you in this direction and then keep you here. So I'm trying to use red to do that. And I think that it's working pretty well. The other challenge of this is that we also have to keep the Joker looking like the Joker. We can't go too deep in environmental stuff. That's why when I was talking about the other coloristjam entries, and I was like, that one guy's looks great, but like, will it fly for a DC thing? Maybe not, you know? In fact, I don't even know if we should maybe we should just do the red here. Is this gonna, there we go. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, like that one guy's is really, really strong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to like, you know, neg him or anything. I don't know why did I use that term? But I will say that like something like that, although is really arresting and really good, will work on an indie project really well, but might not work for like a DC editorial thing. And that's what we want to make. We want to like work towards with this. All right, let's grab skin tones. I'm gonna work on the little portrait in the back too, because I think the explosion is important. Question mark. I don't know if it actually is or isn't important. So like we don't want you down here, even though this Batman watch is pretty cool. we don't really want you down here. We want you up here. So I'm putting these guys more in shadow compared to the rest of the Joker. Just like dragging a grad through it. Like this isn't, I'm not doing anything you guys can't do at home. This is like, you know, I grabbed like a dark gray and I'm just like, oh, dragging a grad through it. Oh, I'm doing that in the wrong layer. This is why I don't work in layers. By dragging a grad through the line art on the Joker's face, he's looking a little darker now, but what we can do now is we can add highlights. It kind of gets in the middle, the mid-range of the values. And then you can add not only highlights, but shadows, like both sides. You can work both sides. You had 12 months of colored painting classes, so it still bugs my mind when you think of a digital artist do the coloring. Dry materials, is everything's upside down? Yeah. Yeah, I was actually kind of kicking around the idea of taking a painting class, because I never got to take one while I was in college, and I think it would make me a better colorist. Maybe. So like we dragged the grad from like his chin up, so like the darkest part is his chin. So we can grab this color that's up here, this peach. It's funny that we're using like a skin tone color on the Joker, and we can put it down here, and it starts to like look like a highlight rather than like, you know, what it is up here, which is just the base color. A painting class totally would. Yeah, I know. You know, it's tough to like find a good one in my area. That's the problem that I'm having. It's also time. Watercolors, oil. I was thinking water, or I was thinking oil, only because like I've never worked with it before and it seems like it's fun. You've had way too much lemon cake that's been given away at work. Rip. Rip the toilet. Rip the heartburn. Huh. I can't do that anymore. I can't live life like that anymore. Free food, yeah. I get heartburn too easily to be able to do stuff like that. I will give my life to you. This is my gift. Yeah. When I see people like just eating, just like scarfing down, I'm like, I used to be like that. That was me once. Dear reader. I know you're not readers, you're viewers. Let's figure this out. He has like a crook in his nose. You did get used to oil. You didn't get used to the oil paint smell. I never thought about the smell. I actually just watched a really great documentary. It's like a little mini doc on in my life in gaming. I like to play video games in addition to doing this. And it was about the guy who made all the art for the old Konami boxes and promotional material. And he was like a artist who worked in oils. Like, this is old school. This is like the 80s, you know. And he did a lot of like, you know, oils and what have you, and it messed him up pretty bad. Like he got it's really sad. He got diagnosed with like a cancer or something, and he thinks it's because, and the doctor said it was environmental, and he thinks it's because of the oil paint. Like he wasn't wearing a mask. He was doing airbrushing and stuff too when he was younger. Yeah, dude just got run roughshod by safety and stuff like that. It sucks. And he got back into it. He's back into it now. He's actually making a comic with some guy. I'm very excited about it. Not to mention he didn't have proper ventilation. No. And yeah, cleaning agents, the solvents, that's what he was saying. He was like, I think it was the solvents that like did me in. But he was like, he was young and it was like the 70s, 80s, you know, like he just wasn't thinking about it. I don't know. I feel like it was a different time. Yeah, I don't know. But it was a really good little mini doc. Tom Dubois is his name. Uh, it was really neat. It was neat to see. He also regrets that like he never asked Konami for the originals. He just like kind of let it slide. They kept the originals for, so he has like no idea where like the original art for like Contra is. You know, like these like I'm sure he could sell them for thousands now, um, if he had them. You live in Brazil and there's a famous painter here. He got allergic to his paint materials. Yeah, just like Cezanne. Yeah, man, it's tough. Like you gotta safety is important with that stuff because, like I said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Like it's not about the one painting. It's about a lifetime of painting, and you gotta be around for that lifetime of painting. Please, chat. Please be around. But yeah, Tom was saying that he's in the mini doc that he's like starting to work he started working digitally because he was just like it's freaking wild too because like his mindset is very much still that like airbrushed like kind of like look, and he's making like this airbrushed stuff in like Photoshop. It's fucking wild. I can't wait to see what the book looks like at the end. They showed some shots of it and I was just like, this is madness. In like the best possible way. I forgot what the book was called. I gotta remember to keep it in my brain for when I see it eventually. So okay. We've kind of like worked on the Joker's face a little. I mean, maybe we should darken some of these highlights or the low lights in here. Just make them a little bit darker. Like in the crevices of the eye and stuff. We're just kind of, I don't know, just kind of noodling. Put little highlights down here. Make the little lines like kind of work with the art. Get a really good printmaking professor in college. She had converted the whole printmaking studio as non-toxic as possible when she'd gotten her cancer a few years ago. Yeah. I just feel like this older generation, it like they weren't thinking about it, you know? Like safety, I feel like safety was not a thing in this. I mean, maybe it was, but like I feel like unless you were around machines, like people were not thinking about safety. Like when it came to like fumes and stuff, it's just like tough it out. I don't know. Where'd I get this squirrel shirt? I can't remember. Somewhere on the internet. It's just like watching Bolin do his ink style the same way when he was doing it on paper. It's really crazy to think he didn't touch paper to work for more than 20 years. Yeah. You can, if you Google squirrel kaiju, I'm sure you can find it. Squirrel kaiju t-shirt. I'm going to amp up this red around the mouth. All right, let's so his jacket, his shirt, make that a little warmer. So like I said before, like we want to keep you here, we don't want to keep you in the rest of the piece. So we're not going to be quite as detailed with everything else. We're just going to kind of like come in with on the shirt and normal. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. There we go. That's what I want. I'm just going to kind of like come in and add just like another cut to like the whole thing, basically. Make like a highlight and then just kind of scribble it in. Because like, it's not really where I want you. So I don't want to do like very high highs and very low lows like on the Joker's face. Like I just want to like, I don't know, gesture it in so that it looks like it's I've taken a lot of time to color it, when in fact, don't tell anybody I haven't taken any time at all. Put a little highlight on the wristwatch. Maybe a little highlight on the bat. Some little highlights on the skull. You see like how quick I'm just like boop boop boop, done. You know, like we don't sense like we want you here, we can put all of our time there rather than anywhere else in here. And that's the idea, is that like, so I grabbed a highlight from here for the other arm because I don't want to go higher than like this. Like I don't want the arm down here, the skin tone down here, to compete with what's going on up here. So like this is as high as I want this, you know? Like we can grab something like this and kind of like 50%, like that's it. That's as high as I want to go. As far as the highlights go. What about a highlight on the lipstick? We're going to get there. The lipstick is getting a little lost. So, we are going to put like a little like, because the lipstick is important. Guardian Legend. Yeah, the Castlevania ones. He did Castlevania Bloodlines. He did that cover. Trash Mega Man one. Yeah. It is a dead art. Like, you don't see a lot of like full painted covers like that anymore. And they were saying in the interview too that like one of the things that I thought was really interesting was like the guy in the interview was saying that like, you know, when you pick up like when you were a kid and you picked up a Contra, you looked at the box art and then like the guy was like, 10 pixels tall, 15 pixels tall. He didn't have a face, but you like put the face from the box art onto the pixely guy running around. Like it engaged your imagination in a way that was like really interesting and unique to the time. Where like Tom was influencing, like he wasn't even playing the games and he was influencing the art direction a ton. Oh man, that's fine, but like, he's super talented, and I try to keep it positive in the stream. We're gonna try to pop this out a little bit from the fingers there, because like stuff's starting to blend into each other. So let's figure out the jacket. We're gonna handle the jacket the same way we handled the cuffs. It was very well rendered. Yeah. Well, it happens. You work on enough projects, that they all can't be winners. I actually, this is going to sound weird to say, because we're currently working on this. I'm not as happy with this as I was with the Wildcats thing we were working on. And like, I don't know if that's because like Gary Frank is a little out of my wheelhouse. I don't know if I'm going to figure it out until later, but this is like a very different artist. Like I don't usually work with this type of artist. I don't know if this is, like I said, something that I'm going to like figure out. Like I'm going to be like in the shower like 3 nights from now and be like, oh, I should have done the other thing. Like, stuff happens, man. Like maybe Andy Gradoff like wasn't super into Marvel versus Capcom. Maybe he didn't really care. Maybe he doesn't like video games. I don't know. Um, he might not put the same amount of passion in there that he did on his like Iron Man run. It happens. Or maybe he's just trying something new too. Like that's the other thing is like I was saying before, in this medium you get to like try a lot of new stuff all the time. Like it doesn't always necessarily work. Especially when with like something like that where like all of your new stuff did you really? I didn't know that. But I also feel like all of the stuff that you generate, anytime you experiment, it's like for public consumption usually. Unless you block out extra time that you're not being paid to like draw on the side, like you're experimenting in real time, like doing this, for public consumption. Let's make this stuff a little bit darker. We're gonna put like a crazy red highlight on this thing because I'm not sure where the highlight ends or begins, so we're just gonna drag a grad through it like that. Still working, still awesome, but he's digital now. Yeah. Capcom as a brand is so art focused. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they thought they were gonna get something else. Maybe they liked it and you didn't. I don't know. It could It could so happen that they were trying something out in the company as well. We're just gonna add a little bit of detail into the couch over here. We don't want to get too wild with it. Because like I said, this isn't where I want you. I don't know, that's not necessarily reading as a highlight. There we go. There we go. The one thing that I will say is that I wish that I got to play around with lately. I've been thinking a lot about like subsurface scattering and putting cooler tones in shadows with like warmer light, stuff like that. And I feel like because comics works with like black and white, it's tough with like a well rendered thing like this where I get to like mix cooler things into shadows and stuff like that. Like I feel like it's tougher to do because you're not like digital painting. It's good there's not much going on in the background. Yeah, we're getting to the point where we're like almost done, kind of. You worked in advertising for 10 years. Most of the art is directed to deaf, non-creative people making all the creative choices. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like I don't know what the editorial was like that thing might have been like noted. I speaking from experience, like I have worked on stuff where like it's just round and round of notes one after the other, and it's like you tweak one little thing. You got to think about like art like a house of cards, and it all works to get to like a place. And when you start doing rounds of corrections, if they are intense corrections, meaning at like a lower base on the house of cards, suddenly nothing's working. The house of cards falls down. If you want to tweak some small things at the top, like you can usually do that, but like it starts to get into a place where it's like I don't know if this is going to work. Like there's a lot of stuff that I've worked on over the years where I feel like, man, we were better off when we started than when I did like this 4th round of notes or whatever. The lemon cake is clouding my memory. Yeah. I don't know. That's just me thinking about notes. And I know like literally the last stream I was like, take notes. And I do think that you should, but like if it's a big note, you kind of have to rework the whole page. And like sometimes that's part of the job, you know? We're going to add a little texture back here. This is just a base Photoshop brush. Art by committee is a slippery slope. Yeah. You're digging it? Thanks, Mitch. Mitch. There's no T. Micah. Thank you, Micah. My brain put the T like earlier in the thing. I'm sorry. Thank you. Are you going to keep the mushroom cloud in the back a line drawing? No, I'm going to... you take it back. God damn. No, we're gonna work on that in a second. I'm just trying to figure out if like Joker's done. I think we gotta tweak the hands a little bit. I'm trying to leave that to the end because that's gonna be like special effects and stuff. I haven't decided if like we are going to render anything in that at all. I don't know is this all thumb? That can't work. There's the thumb. What is this? Is this? Oh, that's the bottom of the locket. Oh, okay. All right. I got there. Sometimes when you're zoomed in, it's hard to tell. Everything just starts turning into shapes. So yeah, brush I'm using right now is just like the regular circle brush. I feel like most people can probably just get by with like the default Photoshop brushes. Like we use the one back here for texture. Mostly except for on his face. That's the only place that I used a custom brush at all. So how's it going, Anta Wa? How's it going? Make all the cake. I will accept it. I wish I was paid in cake. All right. So we do want to make him seem crazy. So maybe we're going to go stark white and then like maybe a little and take the red and kind of multiply it and kind of put it around his eyes a little bit. Does that work? Maybe a purple instead? Hey, thank you for the follow. Showed up and just like came to the conclusion you wanted more. I like it. Decisive. A little bit of purple around the eyes. Yeah. Now we're cooking. Looks like a little bit bruised, a little bit battered. And kind of put a little highlight here. Remember Micah? Yeah. God. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm really bad with names to begin with, and I'm very, very confident that I have a undiagnosed dyslexia. So when your Twitch name starts to be like not, like Nick Phil, like I'm in the weeds. I'm in the weeds. Photoshop out like 3 of his teeth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh. Fake McCoy. Are we going there? Look at that maniac. I kind of love it. Look at that maniac. We're not going to go with that, but it's so much better than you hoped. We aren't going with that. Everybody cool it. Chat, please. Eyes on the prize. We're going to add like a little bit of like bloodshotting, hopefully, if this works. Please, Photoshop, please. I don't know. How are you? There we go. There we go. This is like the airbrushiest brush. I hate brushes like this, but they're perfect for this kind of thing. I like very committal brushes that put down like real pixels, not these fake pixels. Yeah, he's looking real crazy. Now he's looking real crazy. All right, let's I'm gonna punch up the gold on this thing a little bit. So like anything that is like it amped up the insanity. yeah. The little inclines close to Joker's teeth remind you of Cesar Romero mustache in the 60s Batman show. I don't get the reference. Well, let's just talk about things that are glossy. So like this thing is like made of metal or like a very high gloss plastic kind of thing. With stuff like that, you want like a bounce light and then like the regular light source. If you look at like chrome and stuff like that, like, that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. Oh, we're multiplied. Kind of toning it down right there, but and then like, highlights on it. So it would have like high highlights on it. We're going to put some in. I'm using that terrible brush. Why do I even save that brush? Put some high highlights in. We're going to put some in the gold as well. A lot of times the high highlights will be like next to the lowest points as well. Again, if you check out like chrome bumpers or like the cheek, not teeth. If you look at like chrome bumpers or anything like that, if you just Google image search that, you'll see what I mean as far as like this kind of like stuff. If you're struggling with figuring out like high gloss plastics or stuff like that, references out there. I saw somebody posted in the Discord just recently today about how someone was like, I'm really struggling to get skin tones right. Like, how do I get good skin tones? And someone was like, just take a picture of people, put it into Photoshop, and use the eyedropper. I feel like there's a lot of ways that people can figure out exactly how to do things within Photoshop, but because there's a huge amount of tools, people get overwhelmed. I don't know if we're going to keep this red. We might make this like a cooler blue. Yeah, it doesn't make sense as a red. Because of the lipstick. The lipstick is making it weird. I just want to like make sure that he kind of like drew this bounce light on the cheek. So I kind of want to just like roll with it and see what happens. We might not use it all over the place like we're doing right now, but maybe. It's a small detail, but it's like noticeable and interesting. All right. I think we're almost done. Let's work on this guy back here. So, we're going to put some like a shine on this thing. So we kind of got to hand select that around the hair, which is going to be a pain. Because it's light hitting glass, I'm not doing it entirely on the cast shadow here, because the light hitting the glass would be in shadow a little bit. Oh my god, this is going to be something. This sure is something. Why would they do this? Also, this is not supposed to be hair right here. Please flatter, please focus. I don't know if this is supposed to be hair either. We're rolling with it. There's no good way to do this. I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. You think some people try too much to not look for references, but you're learning all the time. You need to allow yourself. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. If you're like, this Chrome isn't working, like, look up Chrome. You know, that's... I learned that lesson early on. It's tough too, because like when you're under a deadline, you're like, oh, I gotta get this page out. I gotta figure out what works right now for this thing, and I'll just roll with it. And then like you turn it in, and you're like, the Chrome doesn't look like Chrome, and you're like, oh shit, I should have looked that up, you know? Oh, this was our teeth earlier. All right, so this is like just light hitting this thing in the back. Maybe we should make the light red. It's set to multiply, not to screen. Maybe we should make the light red. Maybe like down there. Not really. That does not. No. Yeah, I mean, it's also, I was saying this before in the chat room, that like I feel like a lot of people also, like, Photoshop is so big and so vast that they get caught up in the details and they don't necessarily think, you know? Like, it doesn't occur to them to drop a photo of a person in and pull pull what they need with the eyedropper. Like, because of all of the different color stuff and the color options, they're like, how do I pick it out of here? Because this is where the color lives. Like, why would I go anywhere else? This is where the color lives. Instead of thinking like, oh, like you can move beyond that. Beyond color. This looks awful. What are we doing back here? Maybe like a blue? That looks okay. God, what are we doing? Chat, what are we doing? All right, also, we're locking transparency. Look at this. Look at this. Chat. First of all, we don't need inks. Hopefully that worked. It did work. We picked the wrong black. There we go. There's something traditional paint can teach you too. There's not so many options, and there's like Control Z. Yeah. Sometimes limiting yourself makes creative decisions appear. For sure. I think we gotta figure out. Maybe we can like kind of match the couch a little bit. Yeah, I think matching the couch is a good idea. Turn down the saturation a little. I kind of want to like punch this guy up a little bit because the atomic bomb explosion with the face is funny to me. Like I don't want to get totally lost. Maybe that's like a little too popping out though. Let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. We could get in here, like, this is something that is a storytelling decision. There's always Keep Your Fantastic Four 2 DVD. Silver Surfer looks more chrome than silver in that film. Yeah, that's true. There's reference all around you. So this is kind of like a storytelling choice. We could get in here and render like this explosion that's happening back here. I don't know how important the picture is, so we're probably not going to render it. Like, also because I'm tired. People, just let me rest, for crying out loud. We'll talk about rendering explosions someday. That'd be a good thing to talk about because I really love rendering explosions, but we'll talk about that someday soon. I'm dropping the saturation on it just because like I kind of want it pushed back. I don't want it to compete with this. I mean, is it competing with it? So I just added an adjustment layer over the whole thing. Kind of wanted to see if darkening it or lightening it would be good. I'm figuring it out. I don't think any of that works. I think this is as here's the problem. Here's the problem. So I think this is good. I'm happy with this. We could make it a little darker. We start to like fold it into the wall. If we go a little darker. Here's what's going on. The explosion is important. It's Doomsday Clock Joker. We have elements of Joker on top of the explosion. So we can't really go lighter. And I don't necessarily want to go darker either, because if we go darker, we run the risk of it like kind of folding into the wall a little bit. So it has to like exist in a space that's like has a different value and tone than the wall, and also has a different value and tone than the Joker. Like, see, like, if it gets too light, it comes forward so much that it competes with the Joker. We can actually, let's grab, like, just like a dark tone in the couch. The face is drawn on the glass of the picture. Oh, we can work with that. So that's with like the face seems, The thing that makes me think the face is not drawn onto the glass of the picture is that the eyes are like very, very, like you look at, well, the thing is like you look at the lipstick and he's like all over the place, you know, like clutched fist, like running it across his face. And then you look at like the face on this and it's like, this is a very calculated like drawing. Which makes me think that this is part of whatever picture that this thing is. We're just going to try to fold it into the couch, make this part of like the background. This is something that like, maybe it's a weird sticker or decal. Yeah, like this is something that like, as a colorist jam, we don't necessarily have the story. Like, as a design element, I just want to push it back. Like, I don't want to mess with it. Smile drawn over the top would be a nice touch. Yeah. I feel like we're adding too much stuff in. You know what I mean? Like, I want you here, I don't want you over here. Like, the thing about this is, like there's a lot of like elements going on. I'm even pulling back the window a little bit because I think it's like competing overall. You think pushing back the picture frame is good. What's giving me problems is the couch is too bright. Oh my God, you're gonna kill me, Ron. Yeah, you might be right. Dang, Ron, you might be right. At a slight depth of field. Oh my God, you guys, this is not that problematic. I mean, we can add a little depth of field in the window. We're going to do that. But I feel like now we are in the rabbit hole of like, is it done? Is it done? Are we done now? Is it done? And like, we're like already kind of really dark on the couch. In reality, I feel like this couch should be black. Like, if I was... Now we're getting into, like... This is kind of why I've started drawing, is because, like, I like, encounter these problems, and I'm like, this couch should have been blacked out. Like, I feel personally like the decision that I would make is to make this couch very, very dark. So that way we are just here. Like, but it's not darked out. It's not blacked out. We could... Hold on. We could, like, weirdly warm it up a little. I don't know. This is turning into... We are down the rabbit hole. This looks great. Joker pops more with the window. Yeah. The window is definitely competing with the Joker, which is not where I wanted to be. We are, for sure, by the way, we are down the rabbit hole of like, is this done? Are we done yet? There's like 400 other decisions we could make. Let's... Oh, there's more window. There's more window. Look at the pixels. Like, I think the choices that we're talking about, by the way, are choices that, like, editorial would make. Like, this is something that is like, hey... Is the window important? Like, hey, is the couch important? Like, where the face especially pops out more. Yeah. That, which is where we want to be. I feel like, though, man, you know. So, like, I feel like we're done. This looks great. You're done, dude. Yeah, I know. That's what I was gonna say. So, chat aside. Let's talk about like where we ended up and like what's going on. I feel like we're done. There's a couple things going on where I feel like we could change some things or tweak some things, such as, is the explosion in the window or in the picture important? Maybe we should cool down or warm up the explosion rather than having it match the couch. Is the couch important? Like, should the couch color be important? Is it part of a scene? Like, there's a lot in here that is stuff that I feel like is editorial kinds of things. Call it done. This is a stage when because you always want like plus a thing. Yeah. There's like all kinds of stuff that's like, if editorial, is it, this is like, we've gotten it to a place where it's like, I need to pass it off to somebody and have them be like, oh, well, the explosion picture is actually really important. This is the first time we see it in the series, and so we need you to punch it up. Like, we're at the point where I can no longer make those decisions. I also feel like I'm looking at this whole thing in general, and although I'm happy with it and I think it works, somewhere there's an editor like, dude, it's just a window. Yeah, I know. I'm happy with it. I think it works. I will say this, that I feel like we did what we set out to do, which is we've created an image that is like DC ready. Like, this thing works. It works for a cover. It works for an end splash. You wish that background in the red coming from the window. Wait, you'd wash the background in the red coming from the window. That way, all the color variation is put on the Joker. I mean, wait a minute. Should we just... Oh my god. You guys want rewards on Xbox Live? Is that what we've come to at this point? How do I get this out of here? Go away. Fuck. Everything is broken. This thing has broken me. So, like, it's print ready. I just feel like... See, now we're starting to compete with the Joker. This isn't where we want to be. Maybe if we just up the red... Oh, we're not in the right layer. I feel like it's done, but I also feel like emotionally it's missing something for me. Oh my god, you were done, man. Yeah. All right, we're fucking done. God, this is... So you guys are gonna find in your careers that, like, and I know that I said in the beginning of this that, like, don't sweat the small stuff. Like, freaking, it's about an overall arc of work. It's not about the individual thing. It's you got to go from piece to piece to piece, and you can experiment, and you can whiff a couple of times, and it's not a big deal. And, like, we had that whole conversation, but, like, also there's gonna be times within your career that you're like, this is something that I guarantee to you, this is something that I'm going to be thinking about. Like, I'm not going to be actively thinking about it. My subconscious is going to be like, what should we have done different? What's the next thing? When you did mine, you set yourself a 20-minute time limit. What are we at? 2 hours? Yeah. Uh, are we done? Are we done? There's like something in here that is not necessarily clicking in my brain as like this is good, we're done. I think we're done. I think I just fixed it. I just fixed it. It was so subtle, but I just fixed it. I got there. Chat, we got there. Um I think we're gonna call it now before I drive myself insane. Uh let's grab a color to sign it. Too many teeth. That was my problem. So there's a lot of stuff in my career that I've made over the years. Don't worry, you'll wind up seeing everything you should have done as soon as you see it in print. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff that I've done in my career where I was like, this one particular thing is bothering me, or this one moment doesn't necessarily work right, and I'm like thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and I'm like, I can't, like, for whatever reason, like I'm just tired, or like I don't have the time to come back to it, or like my subconscious will start to work on it. This is the weirdest shit. My subconscious will start to work on it, and then I've stopped thinking about it. Like it's not bothering me at all. And then like I'll be like getting out of the car to like pop the trunk to bring the groceries in, and I'll be like, motherfucking pink, like it'll just like click in my brain from like a project from like 4 months ago. Oh my god, he signed it so small. There we go. Yeah, it's weird to have those moments. I think we're done. I think we're calling it. Chat, thanks for hanging out. We're gonna try to play some games over the weekend, maybe Sunday. I know we're going to the grocery store tomorrow. Like, you guys don't need to know that. But yeah, I think we're done. I'm gonna put this up in my Discord. You guys should join the Discord. It's really great. Thanks, Ron. Ron says it looks good. It looks good. You guys should follow me on Twitter and Instagram right up there. Those where the handles are. I'm going to be putting this up on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to see it not filtered through a Twitch algorithm and, you know, spit out on the other side, check it out there. And thanks, Furay. And thanks everyone who shot me a follow. There was a couple of you out there. We're gonna call this for now. We're gonna be done. And as always, everyone out there, I'm gonna try not to work on this after I turn the stream off. Try to let this go. Everyone out there, keep making comics, but not this anymore. Oh, and I will say, but you should work on this because it's a part of the coloristjam. So yeah, no problem. If you wanna like color this on your own, search for #coloristjam on Twitter. You can find the line art. I want to put the line art, if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description. Give it a shot. See what you think. See if you can solve the things that I was struggling with quicker than I can. That might be possible. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Thank you very much for hanging out. I will see you on the next one. We're gonna play a game on over the weekend, and then I don't know what we're gonna work on next week. We're gonna work on something. I should be streaming quite a bit next week, actually, because I just had like a little shuffle happen with the schedule, and I think I'm actually like pretty clear next week. So I might try to stream a little extra. We'll see. Don't hold me to it, but we're gonna try. Until then, everyone out there, keep making comics, and I'll see you in the next one.